So, quick question: if you had to choose out of Mike or LP, who do you think has a bigger dick?
I'm gonna go with a pass. I'm gonna hope they're both very blessed. There you go. Hello, everybody. This is the Open Bar Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Ricardo.
And my name is Gino. Today we're gonna be reviewing Run the Jewels album RTJ4, which came out June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Yeah, we're gonna be reviewing that. If you don't know who Run the Jewels are, it's two MCs, Killer Mike, who's from Atlanta, Georgia, and then you got LP, who is also the main producer of Run the Jewels from Brooklyn, New York. So yeah.
And to start off, today we're drinking another beer by Alaskan Brewing Company, which we've had in another episode before. This one is called Husky IPA, which was recommended to us by Kid G, who's another local artist here from San Antonio. So
shout out to Kid G.
Shout out to Kid G. Go ahead and check him out. And so a little bit about this beer. All I got about it is that, it's an IPA. It has brilliant clarity and exhibits tropical stone fruit flavors with aromas of tangerine and papaya. So it's a little bit of citrusy and fruity.
Yeah, and it says hoppy and fruity.
Yeah, so excited to try it. 7% alcohol, which I didn't know until I walked out of the door with it, which, damn. But let's get straight into it, man.
I'm a Run the Jewels fan, and this album, I legit just love this album. I honestly want to say that it's my favorite album, of this entire year. I don't think I've heard another better album than this. From production, from the message that they're both spitting, from the features, great features, and the way the album flows front to back. How it starts off with just banging, there's I don't know, it just starts off explosives, and then towards the third half of the album it kind of just smooths and slows down. I don't know, it's everything that I just love in the hip hop album. It's great. I just enjoy it.
Yeah, I gotta say the same thing. I mean, we're into August now, and if I were to put this album as far as one of my favorites, or rank where the favorites are, it's way up there. I feel like we should definitely do an episode where we do or at least for half of the year, top 5 albums so far. And Run the Jewels right now will be up there, probably number 1. I might have another one, but it's not even hip hop, but we'll get into that later. But as far as this album, this is their 4th installment out of the Run the Jewels series. They started naming themselves Run the Jewels after they started working together. So when did their first album drop?
2013.
2013. And it's been at least a year to a couple years.
Nah, it's been almost 4 years. It was 3.5 years.
But I was going to say in between each album. But from Run the Jewels 3 till this one, it's been a long wait, especially for Run the Jewels fans. But it's been definitely worth the wait. I'm going to go ahead and say it's their best album yet.
I think so too. I legit, it's every year or every time they release their album, I'm like, yo, this is their best one. But this one, I feel is their best one. You can see the evolution from especially from the first album, but even their second and third, how you think they were gonna top what they did on the third album, and they did it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that from a lot of Run the Jewels fans, where they didn't think it's possible for them to top it off. I think my favorite before this was number 2, and just the way it starts off with everything that you would want out of a Run the Jewels album, out of a hip hop album. It's just so loud, in your face. The production, like we said, from LP, is just how do I find the perfect word? Is just
It's like so hard hitting. Like it's like the kick, and then like you hear like those kick, do 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 do, and then like those snares,
yeah.
and what is it with like Killer Mike back at it like a crack at it, and, you know, like the way he's just like rapping, you're just like, oh shit, and then like when the beat kicks in, it's like, god damn, that beat is so, it's just so dope. Like I don't know.
'Cause I think if you could summarize like their sound, that's how it is. It's loud in your face with the killer loud production. That's what LP brings to Run the Jewels. But as far as the first track of the album, their intro, they call it Yankee and the Brave. I guess that's how they're calling each other now. Yankee from LP, who's from New York, the Brave, Killer Mike from Atlanta. You know, referencing
The baseball teams.
the baseball teams, and it's just the energy and their flows are just ridiculous. Like better than, I don't know, better than anything they've done before. Like especially throughout the whole album, I feel like they brought some of their best flows they've brought to date. And like you said, yeah, the way he started, and is it a kick? Is it like a snare that's just repeated back to back? Pop, 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 pop,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It
And
just
it's
sounds like,
like-
a kick. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, and they start rapping together with that kick, but then there's like a quick few bars, and then bam, the beat drops, and it's just
Yeah, when like I don't know, like when I hear that beat drop, like just like the what is it, like the it's not hi hats, but I don't know, the cymbals, I guess, from like the drum, like, you know, through the percussion, like it just sounds like, it sounds very old school. I just like how it just sounds. But yeah, like after I think it's like in the third verse where like I don't know, there's like some like little hook, like they have like a DJ scratch, and then like LP kind of just like adds like a little like strings into like the third verse. Like you hear it like kind of like it's like a build up. Like it just sounds, it just sounds so good. Like I just like that little element of like what he brings as like the production wise.
there's something about every beat. I just wanted to talk about every beat, but it's so recognizable. Like just the bass on every single song, it's just so loud, and it has like a unique bass line every single beat, but it's still like the typical Run the Jewels bass line, is so loud and so powerful, and it just created their own sound and put them in the, you know, a lane of their own. And it just started off so great with this intro.
Yeah, like the intro's kind of like like a TV kind of show, like they were kind of like going for like Yankee and the Brave. Like think of like some like 70s kind of like TV show, because like the way they were rapping, you know, like Killer Mike, there's like a part where like Killer Mike is like talking about like he has like one round like in his gun, and he's like thinking, I could either like kill myself or just shoot at like all the cops. And
It's
he's like
a standoff.
yeah, it's like a
against the
standoff,
cops.
and he's like, fuck it, I'm going all out, like I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's like a buddy cop, but they're not cops, but it's just like the opposite of cops, like criminals, I guess.
Yeah, they're just,
The anti-heroes, if you can
they're running
say.
the jewels.
That's what I wanted to get to. You know, it's like something that Run the Jewels been doing for a while, and they do so well. Is they just bring the fire bangers, the bars, you know, the comedy, whatever they want to get political, but they don't have a lot of hooks on a lot of the songs. It's straight up just the beat itself makes the hook in a way, and especially throughout this album, it's just like it's just the DJ scratching throughout multiple of the songs, but you don't need a hook. It just sounds so dope, and it's like a perfect in between from when they go in between one verse and another, and they've just, I think, more than any other album, they just play off each other so well. Like you could tell the chemistry, like the reason why they keep doing this and they're still a duo instead of going back to doing their solo work, is because they're just so goddamn good together, man.
Speaking about hooks, because like even like on their second song, the Ooh La La, like, you know, that's like the only hook. It's just Ooh La La, just repeated over and over again. But like, you know, like when that first time I heard it, I was like, I felt iffy about the hook, because like it's so repetitive. But then like, I don't know, after like the second time listen, like that shit just gets stuck in your head. It's just so catchy. It's so simple, but it's so catchy. And then like it goes along with the beat. Like you hear the beat come in, and then towards the end you get like DJ Premier like just scratches with that Ooh La La like sample. Like it works. Like
Yeah,
it really works. Like they don't have a lot of hooks throughout this album, but this is like one of the hooks, and it legit works.
Yeah, so this Ooh La La was also one of the first singles they released. And yeah, when it came out, it was just, to me, it was different. Because you're used, like I said, they have a certain sound. And this beat is a little bit retro, look like a little like jazzy hip hop, almost old school type of beat.
Yeah, it sounds very old school.
But not really old school because it's still a banger. Like, as soon as the beat drops, it's a fucking banger. It's featuring Greg Nice, who's on the hook, just saying "ooh la la." It's such a simple hook, but it's so catchy. Like, trust me, it's so catchy. Yeah, I feel like under the right circumstances, that song could have blown up, but it didn't. But it's still a very big song for Run the Jewels. Different sound, big single. By now, that song "Just" is another single. Is it a single?
I think it's a single. They released like a little like lyric music video.
Well, if it's not a single, I'll put it as a highlight because Ooh La La is a highlight of the album. We got to talk about "Just," which is featuring Pharrell Williams and
Zach De La Rocha.
You know he's a vocalist from a band, and he has better verses than a lot of your favorite rappers, man.
I'm telling you, yeah, like first time I heard it, I was just so like amazed by like his flow, like the way he was just flowing. I was just so amazed, and then like his rhyme scheme, like the way he was like rhyming towards the end, where I don't even know, like he was like he'll rhyme like two things, and then it'll be separate rhyme from this, but then he'll bring back the rhyme like right after. I was like, yo, like this guy, and the dude's like 50. He's like 50 years old rhyming like this.
But we're still talking about the song "Just," because what can we say? Another fucking banger. Like, the bass on that fucking song is just holy shit.
That bass just kicks in.
It's a bouncy bass. It's such a simple beat with such a fucking banger. And
it's such like a simple beat. It has like that very like trap style.
Yeah, it's almost a trappy song.
Yeah, it's like a trappy song. It's like a good bounce to it. And then especially like with like Killer Mike's like verse, like the way he's rapping, he's kind of like rapping like kind of like how like today like rappers are. He'll like do, and then he'll like at the end he'll have an ad lib. At the end of everything's like ad lib. And I thought that was like cool because like like I feel like if you were to like play this in the club, like people could like dance and like and like shout what he's saying, but then it's like when you actually read the lyrics, you're like, oh shit, like this guy is saying some shit. Like,
yeah, you mentioned that before, and yeah, it's just such a banger. It could be getting played everywhere, but would people realize what they're saying? Like, they're pretty much just talking about like our economic system, and well, the hook is pretty much saying like, look at all these slave masters posting on your dollar.
Get it? like yeah, they just repeat it. I don't know, like that's such a dope hook. Like I love it.
Yeah, you said they didn't have any hooks. They have a hook on this song, but
yeah, that's another.
But they
good
keep
hook.
it very, very, very minimalistic, very simple. But
it works.
Together,
it works
together with the fire ass beat.
And then when you actually like you're shouting it, but then you're thinking about it, you're just like, damn, look at all my slave masters. Like like you look on your dollar bill, you see George Washington, and you're like, yeah, he's a slave master.
Yeah, so technically,
oh shit, Ben Franklin's a slave
most
master.
Most of the people in your currency were slave masters.
So like, yeah, this is like the like politicalness that you get from Run the Jewels. I like it, and it especially like right now with everything kind of going on, it works, it fits. Like I don't know, even with Pharrell, he's also on the hook. He's like hook / bridge that he's on, and it works.
I don't know. See, you saw the track list before it dropped, and you saw Pharrell Williams on the track, and you gotta give credit to Pharrell because he's one of the all-time great producers in hip hop, and not just hip hop, just in music. And he's done great, things in producing and his own music himself too. But I was a little disappointed by his part. Anybody else could have done it. Song's still fire, but I just maybe wanted something else. He could sing, he could do whatever. I don't know. but I'm not taking from the song. It's still like a very high point in the album.
Yeah, from what I read from an interview, Pharrell actually came up with the hook and gave it to Run the Jewels. That's from what I saw from an interview. But then he also has some like vocal harmony, like right before the end of the verse, right before the hook's about to start, you just hear some like little like, I don't know, like harmonic. Yeah. you hear it and it sounds pretty good. Like, you know, it's just like little layers like that. They'll just kind of.
I mean, when you're a person like him and they're producers, like, there's a lot of stuff that they do that people are called producers. You know, bringing in ideas or bringing in, you know, just structuring the song. So I'm sure he had a great part of it. And I didn't really get into all the credits and see writing credits and all that stuff, but. I mean, what else could we say about this song?
It's just a banger song. Like,
so the third song is Out of Sight featuring 2 Chainz. Another feature, another fucking great banger. I think it's this song. Yeah, this song has one of the weirdest beats on the album, in my opinion. Like, the beat is so weird and distorted, and you couldn't imagine like whatever sample it is that LP took and turned it into a banger, because before he starts rapping, I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it's such a banger. It's something only like Run the Jewels would fucking murder. And they did.
They really did. Yeah, like, yeah, just how it like starts off. Like, I don't even know like what it is. Like, it's just a weird thing. Like, it's a
weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Sample,
but once you hear that beat, you're just like, damn, this beat is hard. And then like once they start rapping, but goddamn, like you hear Killer Mike, like the way he's like, I think it was like, I don't know, first or second verse, he's just flowing on this. I'm like, god damn, Killer Mike.
Throughout this album, especially on this song, he has like one of his flows on when he's rapping is just amazing. That's all I could say.
And then this one has a hook too, but it's just kind of like the beat. They just like during the, I guess like the hook portion is like samples. Like they just kind of like, you just hear like little samples, and then you get 2 Chainz on here, and I think 2 Chainz killed it.
Yeah, 2 Chainz had 2 Chainz.
It's funny because like I didn't really catch his bar literally until like just as I was like doing his review, but he said, "I'm cool as AC, y'all are just wannabes." I was just like, oh shit, like AC, you know, you wanna be ABC. I was like, oh god damn, like that's actually pretty clever.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like 2 Chainz, he's not anywhere close to being one of my favorite rappers, but you gotta admit that he kills features. I mean, I've heard a lot of songs where he's featured at, and he just kills it. This song, he did a pretty good job. I stay hating on it a little bit because, like I said, these beats are made for Run the Jewels, you know, and they gotta, I don't know, like they just gotta go fast at it, and he goes with his usual flow. Great bars, by the way. I'm cool as AC. I guess
that shit's dope. And then like
if you want to be frank,
I'll buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be frank. Come on, like that shit's dope. Clever bars. You got some hot dog bars.
It was on the first half of the album, Holy Calamafuck. That song is like a 2-part song, and I mean, typical Run the Jewels song. First half to me is a little weird because it doesn't really have any like a drums to it, if I'm remembering right. It just has like, I don't know.
It is weird. So like, this is the weirdest beat to me on the album. Like,
it is weird. The first half, I just kind of.
It's weird. Like I've told you this before, but it's just like, how do I bob my head to this? Like it's so like, I don't even know. Like I feel like there's like a weird tempo to it, and especially when they start rhyming, I'm just like, I don't know. It's so weird. But like, I don't know. Like I think that part is like cool. I like it a little bit, but like every time I hear that song, I'm just waiting for that beat switch up. Yeah. Like, because once that beat switch up, you know, it's like this very just trappy kind of just style. But like, goddamn, like that beat kicks in, like that bass just kicks. It hits hard.
Yeah, it's just right off like half point throughout the song. Not even half point. It's the first part is a little bit under half. and then it starts off with like some heavy synths, like doom, almost like it reminds me of like the movie Tron, or like like a movie score, you know, like very heavy synth, just kind of building up, and then the beat just starts coming in. Dun dun dun. Is it that one, right? I think it's that one. But yeah, it comes in almost like a trappy beat, and then this is when it was just more memorable. The little hook, like I said, there's no hook either. It's just like a girl voice just saying fire.
Yeah, you just hear that fire, you're just like, oh, what's about to happen? And then you just hear that beat, you're just like, oh shit.
I don't know, it's just the way the LP structures its songs, like that's not a hook. It's just a little one word that sounds like two words somehow at the same time, but it just transitions so well. And then Killer Mike just kills it, man. Like, I don't know, it just
yeah, like Killer Mike's, yeah, especially like his like flow, but like especially like towards the end, like you hear like these synths kind of like just coming in, like, and they just like build up and build up and build up, like towards the end of the verse, you know, very like climatic.
I wrote that too, yeah, because it was towards the end of his second verse, like, you know, because it already had the like the heavy synth throughout the beat, but it kept on like rising and rising.
Yeah,
it reminded me of like, if I remember his name, like that Hans Zimmerman, like the way that his beat, his production just kind of elevates to create like the suspense.
Yeah, that's how I get from it, and I like it. Like, I don't know, you just hear it, you're just like, oh shit, like the synth, and then you just hear it like rising and rising and rising, and then it goes into like that hook. You're like, damn, that shit's dope.
Goonies versus E.T. Right, this took me a few listens because I was confused. I was looking and hearing for a reference to Goonies versus E.T.
Same,
but I don't know the reasoning on why they called it that. But I don't know. It's another fucking banger. Like another.
Before, if you had to choose, what do you pick, Goonies or E.T.?
Goonies.
Same. I'm a Goonies fan. It's a good movie.
Yeah, they're both good movies, but
they are both good movies. You know, I actually saw E.T. for the first time like a few months ago, and it is a good movie. But I do prefer Goonies. Yeah, but I try to find why is it called Goonies versus E.T.
Who knows? Either way, it's like another one of just a very minimalistic beat, but the bass line is just so loud. He makes production seem so easier because all I hear is just these heavy bass lines, but I'm sure it's not, man. It's just but you know what I did like in that beat? It's just like in between it had like this drum breaks, like this very old school like drum breaks that would just sound so dope. They remind me like something you would break dance to, like.
Yeah, they sound so old school. Like I don't know, like I think of like Rick Rubin and like Beastie Boys, like just drum, like. Yeah, but they sound so dope.
It wasn't throughout the whole song. It was like it came out like right at the halftime, and it was just like, oh, that drum line just so amazing.
Yeah, like they bring it in like, you know, halfway through the verse, you're just like, oh shit, like it just catches you off guard.
Yeah,
that's something I like.
Yeah, and then Killer Mike just had a killer verse. I don't, you know, nothing specific about his flow. I mean, of course it was, but you know, he was just calling out like woke people and just how, you know, just
like through social media,
through Twitter especially.
Yeah,
how it's all just, you know, it's all kind of, a lot of people just do it for show, or, you know, the way I see it, maybe it's about, you know, people on Twitter just are quick to cancel people, and
later on, you just hear like this, like, I want to say it's a cowbell. I don't know what it is.
That's what I wrote too. I think it's a cowbell, but yeah.
You just hear for like 4 bars. He just throws it in like just randomly, like 4 bars, but like the fact that he added it just throws in like another layer of just like, damn, like it didn't needed it, but like when I hear it, I'm like, damn, it sounds so good.
Yeah, it really caught my ear too, because it's not just some cowbell, you know, the regular cowbell noise.
Yeah,
but it's just the little pattern that he did with the cowbell and whatever effects that he did to it. It just added so much to the beat with so little. God damn it! Like, I feel like throughout the whole album, I felt like maybe Killer Mike has the most memorable. Not even verses, just flows, but I mean, you gotta give credit to LP, because the whole structuring of the album, how it flows together so easily. I think it's the song before this one, Holy Calamity. The ending transitions into the Goonies versus E.T.
Oh yeah.
Just so flawless. Like, goddamn it. Like, you got to give credit to an album that's just. I gotta say, you can't. There's not a song I would skip on this album. There's a lot of albums out there that have a lot of skippable songs. Drake. Because I feel like right after that is when they start getting more political, especially with Walking in the Snow. That song, I don't know, to me it's like one of the heaviest songs, and if not heavy, I don't know, with the bigger message. Because at first, the Killer Mike verse is just incredible. It's just the most memorable to me. But the more I listen to it, like, LP has a killer verse too, you know? Just talking about, like, you know, referencing cages and, you know, making metaphors about cages and, you know, the kids in cages. Maybe referencing, like, the people, you know, that are being detained by ICE, or how we are just in a cage.
Yeah, cause cause he says, he says, it indirectly at the edge of a mass grave. That's their design. Funny fact about a cage, they never built for just one group. So when that cage is done with them and you're still poor, it come for you. So I feel like he's kind of, maybe he's probably like talking about like white people in a way. I feel like, because like, if you think about cages in like in America, I feel like they're kind of like, you know, portrayed towards like minority in a way. So like, I think he's saying like, so when that cage is done with like the minority people and all those white people that are like poor and feel like they're not gonna be dragged into that like system, once they're done with them, they're coming after you too. That's how I felt from it.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say. It just, I couldn't find the right words, but yeah, like people are quick to oppress this other people, but they don't realize it's just, at the end of the day, there's always gonna be like someone at the bottom, and that could be you.
Yeah,
I think it's what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
and
then he kind of goes in like he talks about like the religion, like he says pseudo Christians, y'all indifferent, kids in prison, ain't a sin shit. If even one scrap of what Jesus taught connected, you'd feel different. So it's like what Jesus like taught back in the day. It's so different from like what these Christians are like believing now, like
practicing what they preach, because they claim to be all Christian and everything, but
yeah, like they're just like, they're okay with like throwing these kids into prison, like or not in prison, but like in these cages, like.
Yeah, and somehow don't see how that's wrong.
Yeah, so like I feel like that's what his verse was saying, and it's such a like a good verse, but like I feel like you have to kind of like sit down and kind of like break it down, because I think LP kind of just gives that, where like Killer Mike is just like, when he says something, like he has like a very just like bigger voice, and like it just hits you like right in the face. But with LP, I think it's more like you have to like break it down. So like,
that's what it is about LP's verse. Like, you just kind of had to pay attention more.
Yeah, you just gotta like pay attention a bit more, and
like
just,
like Killer Mike's verse on this song is just more straight to the point. Like, he makes his point very easy to understand. And I got his whole verse written down over here because it's just.
I want to say this, like I feel like his verse right here is the best verse of 2020. I don't think I've heard another better verse than his. You know, from this year at least. Like it's such a good verse from like what he's saying.
Yeah, so this one is just something that goes perfectly with. Just, you would think he wrote it after the whole George Floyd incident, but he didn't. So I don't know if we should read the whole verse. I don't know if we should let people listen to it.
I'll post a thing right here. But yeah, but like the main thing, you know, in the beginning he talks about like how, you know, from the ages 1 to 4, how like, you know, you're free, like as like a toddler to like a baby, you know, whatever, like you're free from everything. You don't believe in like religion, politics, whatever.
And
But
like,
then
as soon as you hit the school system is when you
That-
start getting shaped into to whatever, you know, the higher ups want you to be, pretty much, I guess.
yeah, but like it's creative, like how he like painted it like that. You're just like, damn, that's kind of true. Like,
Yeah, like I mean, of course, this is his perspective, and it's just you either agree or disagree, but you gotta at least listen to it. Just the way he says it, it just
yeah,
it
like
explains itself so easily, man. I just want to read it. It's like,
Yeah.
because he says the way I see it, you're probably freest from the ages 1 to 4, like he said. Around the age of 5, you're shipped away for your body to be stored. They promise education, but really they're giving you tests and scores. You know, just talking about the school system. A lot of people think that the U.S. has like the best education system, but it's, you know, a lot of people would disagree with you because it's just, you know, you're in a system where you're getting judged based of scores, you know, and it says they predicting prison population by who's scoring the lowest. So, you know, what's that saying that, you know, people who don't do well in school are just gonna be the ones that are gonna end up criminals at the end of the day?
yeah, basically.
There's so much to that because, you know, they try to tell you like school is the way to go, and like you have to do well in school to do well in life, and so they feed you that mentality since the beginning, when there's so much other stuff that you could do without. I don't know. There's just a lot having to do with the school system. You got the whole verse or what?
Yeah.
I'll let you keep reading the rest.
Yeah, because then after that he goes, and usually the lowest scores the poorest, and they look like me. So what he's saying is like, usually the people who score the lowest are like people that look like him, meaning they're black. And every day on the evening news, they feed you fear for free, and you so numb you watch the cops choke out a man like me, until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe. And yeah, like, you literally would think that this came out like right after like the whole George Floyd, but like this album came out like, I want to say about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks from the George Floyd incident. So this is like still during the protest going on. But no, he, you know, he talked about this was like during, well, he was like mentioning from Eric Gardner that happened like a few years back.
Just to go back to the reason why all these protests and riots happen, because he wrote that last year, right? And it's exactly what happened to George Floyd, just to tell you how much of a problem that is, how much that keeps happening, how much it's an issue, and
Yeah.
and you know,
It's still
he could have
happening.
released this last year, and it's still as relevant as what happened today, and then everything just.
Yeah, so like it just hit harder even then. But then after that, he just says, and you sit there in the house on the couch and watch it on TV. The most you give is a Twitter rant and call it a tragedy. Like that's so true, because like everybody who's like probably seen the video goes straight to Twitter and just, you know, just talk about it, like how bad.
Everybody's quick to just talk about it and be like, oh, you know, blah blah blah.
But like,
Are
what
they really doing something? I think Never Look Back in the Ground Below. To me, I wrote, you know, that they're two of the least memorable songs. Like, they're great songs, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it, and just in an album where you pack so much fire, so many bangers, like, even if they're all, even, how many songs are in there? 11?
Yeah,
Even
I
if you
think
have
so.
11 great songs, at the end of the day, like, there's going to be some that are not as good as others. And that's, to me, that's these two. And I mean, I still don't skip them. They're good Run the Jewels songs, typical with what you're getting used to. But I mean, I figured it was gonna happen to where like in any album you're gonna have like the least favorite songs, and to me that's them two. Pulling the Pin, whatever, right? Yeah, Pulling the Pin. Yeah, that beat is like very dark, man. But the you know what? Pulling the Pin is also, I don't know. It's not a bad song. It's like about, I think they were talking about police again, and you know, calling them pigs, and
Yeah, I think it's a bit more like I don't want to say political, but like kind of like I even think they're talking about like religion and religion again, like kind of going after like the religion kind of perspective. But then yeah, then they ended with a few words for the firing squad, and I like this like closer, because like a few words for the firing squad. I think it's basically saying like they're about to like die. If you're still looking at it from like the Yankee and the Brave kind of TV series, they're about to die, and they're just like saying their last words before like they die.
Yeah, it's like a really personal. They get really personal in the lyrics, both of them.
They really do. Like LP's kind of like in the beginning, he's kind of like talking to his wife, but like when you hear like the beat, it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, there's like
it's weird.
no drums to it, just very atmospheric. Another one, like I was saying, where the beat is just building up, almost like in a movie, like a score of a movie, which LP's already done that before. But yeah, the beat is just building up, and how many they got like 2 verses each, and then.
But yeah, they're very personal verses, but they're very just good verses. They're very dark verses. I don't know, like like LP was like talking to his wife, that how he couldn't sleep and whatever. But Mike, he kind of talks about his mom. I guess his mom passed away, and he kind of just talks about like how that hit him pretty hard, and how he wanted to do drugs, but his wife, he doesn't want his wife, or he doesn't want to do drugs just to be another
Martyr, he said.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to be another junky flunky rap fiend. But yeah, she says friends tell her he could be another Malcolm, he could be another Martin. She told her partner, I need a husband more than the world needs another martyr. Like, that's such a dope line, because, like, that's kind of true. Because when you look at Killer Mike, you think he could be the next Malcolm and Martin. But then both of them got assassinated. And she doesn't want that. She just wants a husband.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it's like a very, heart-wrenching song.
I didn't really write any specific on the lyrics. It's just a very dark and personal song. It's just a great way to end the album. It's not a banger like all of them, but it just summarizes. It doesn't summarize, but like you said, it's just like their last words right about as they're about to get executed by the firing squad. So
yeah,
what did they tell him at the end? Like, fuck you.
Yeah, because LP kind of his very last words. He just says, "Put the pistol in the fist up in the air. We are there. Swear to God." So he's just like, at the end of the day, just throw the the pistol in the fist, and they're just gonna be there. But then Mike, he just says, what do we say to them? Fuck you too. And then you just hear the beat kind of stop, and then you just hear the instrumental, you hear a saxophone, sax solo, and then
there's
you
a
hear
little sax solo in the background.
You just get all these. You're just I don't know. This beat, you just hear it. You just feel the emotion of what they just said, and I feel that's the end. If you're still looking at it from the Yankee and the Brave, you're just I guess during that moment, it's just they're just firing rounds and this and that, they're just dying. But then it sounds really good, and then after that you just get I don't know, it's still a minute left, and you just get a Yankee and the Brave kind of solo type thing.
Yeah, that's the one that really sounds like an intro to the TV show of the Yankee and the Brave. I forgot what they said, but it really goes really well, explaining the Yankee and the Brave just as them, the anti-heroes, and then it goes really well into starting the album over again with the song Yankee and the Brave.
Yeah, because if you play it just in the loop, at the end of that song, it goes into perfect within the very first song, Yankee and the Brave, so it works.
Just did a good job of structuring it that way. Man, nothing else to say. It's just definitely their best work. Definitely, if you've never got into Run the Jewels, even though they got 4 albums, don't feel like you got to start with Run the Jewels 1. Check this out.
Yeah, check this out, and then you like it, go check out their other work. Go check out 3, 2, 1. I don't know. They're all so good and they're all unique in their own way. Like, you'll like it. I guess if I had to rate, or like my top three will have to be Yankee and the Brave, Walking in the Snow, and Just. Those are like my three like favorites from the album.
Damn it, yeah. I would say my top 3 songs are Just for sure, fucking banger. Ooh La La. It's so catchy. God damn, it's so catchy. And you said Walking in the Snow. God damn it, I'm trying to have different songs from you.
You can say the same.
Yeah, same thing. It's just, we talked a lot about Walking in the Snow. It's such an impactful song. And then the other 2 are just bangers, so. But overall, great album. Don't need to skip anything from beginning to end. And I guess, we wanted to start reviewing more albums later on. And so we're going to give it a rating.
Yeah, so we're doing a rating out of 6 beer cans?
Yeah.
Or out of like a 6-pack. So I will give it a 6 out of 6. Like, it shit bangs. Like, I legit love this album. I play it all the time, front to back. I can't wait for like my vinyl to come in. I can't wait for my CD to come in. Can't wait for my shirt to come in. Not till September, so I'm just waiting till next month. Oh man.
I don't want to give it. I want to give it a 6 out of 6, but I feel like we're definitely being. What's the word?
Bias?
Yeah, biased. It's a very biased opinion, but I feel like
probably is, but like
if we're gonna do more reviews, it shouldn't be biased.
It shouldn't be biased, but like I legit, but like I said, like I don't know, just this album is like what I like from a hip hop album.
So 6 out of 6. That's like you're setting a precedent. Like that's the perfect album.
Yeah, I think this is legit like a perfect album. Like I see no wrongs or misses with this. Even like the very few things that I said, but like I don't know, like everything else just works, and it's just like more. I don't know. It outweighs all like the bad.
Yeah. Damn it. I don't know if I should give it a 6 out of 6 also. I don't know if we could get half beers. That doesn't make sense. Fuck it. Certified 6 out of 6 beers. Run the jewels forward. Gets the full 6-pack. Best album of the year so far. Give it a listen. Thank you for listening to our review. Go give our pages a like and a follow at Open Bar Pod everywhere. Thank you for listening. See you next time.
Peace.
Suck us.